Can a cleaner or can someone who is doing a menial job or doing what we call very low paying job become a millionaire? Yes, but hello, welcome to this discussion. I want to ask a rather interesting question. Can a cleaner, for example, become a millionaire? Can a domestic worker become a millionaire? Well, let me put it this way. Anyone, any human being can become anything. Of course, I know that there are two ways, or rather there are many ways to becoming anything, obviously. So, going back to the question, can a cleaner or a domestic worker, somebody who cleans people's house, can they become a millionaire? I said, well, there are several ways, right? One of the way is perhaps the owner of the house that they are cleaning is very wealthy and decide to be benevolent, right? And maybe they are cleaning the house of an elderly person who is very wealthy. The person can will them, put them on their will and say, give them a couple of millions. So there's your answer. They can become a millionaire, right? Given such circumstance. Okay, so we say, wow, that would be nice. But then again, like I said in one of our videos, that is a rare occurrence. See, that's a very rare occurrence. Then another way you can look at it is this. Of course, they may have a relative who is wealthy, who could decide to give them wealth, or who could put them in a will. Those are all possibilities. But I know that this question is not actually targeting circumstances beyond our control. See, when somebody asks such a question, that can a cleaner, for example, become a millionaire, he's not actually expecting answers from the rare occurrences where somebody became benevolent and gave them wealth. No, that's not what he's expecting. He's trying to know that as a person who probably current job is cleaning, or a janitor, as we call it in other places, can that person work his or her way up to the state of financial independence, or to the state where the person can now say that he or she is now a millionaire? Can they walk their way through? I believe that is the answer that whoever asks such question is trying to get, right? The answer also is yes. Of course, there's a popular guy, I think the name is Tony Robinson, who as a young guy was a cleaner, a janitor, right? And of course, you should have heard his story. If you haven't yet, you can check him out on Facebook or YouTube or even on Google. Check out Tony Robinson. The last time I heard, I think it was worth almost half a billion or so, over $500 million worth at the time. I don't know now what the current worth is, but anyway, so he came from being a janitor, a cleaner, as it is, or as it were, to becoming a multi-millionaire in dollars. Now, here is the trick. Can a cleaner or can someone who is doing a menial job or doing what we call very low paying job become a millionaire? Yes, but not as a cleaner. Now, what I mean by that is this. I do not mean that he changed the job. I mean that the person changed. You see, because that is where the missing link is. When people ask questions like that, they are trying to get answer that even them know it's not feasible. I explain. If a cleaner, somebody who is cleaning today, maybe you are maybe doing a very low paying job. For example, maybe in Southern Africa, for instance, maybe your salary is about 2,500 rands or 3,000 rands. where you say, well, this is a very low paying job, right? To become a millionaire, one major thing that must happen is that you that is currently a cleaner who have a dream of becoming a millionaire must change. That's it. That's it. The problem is not the availability of money to go around. The problem, listen, your earning power, your ability to earn is directly proportional to who you are. Believe me. So if you want to have what you do not have now, or what your life doesn't look like it could attract, the first thing you must do is you must become the person who can have that thing. I gave you an example of Tony Robinson, who I said was a cleaner, but now worth over or plus minus $500 million US, right? The only thing that I have not told you is that Tony Robinson did not remain the man he was when he was a cleaner. I mean, today you can go and hear him, listen to him, read the book he has written. You will notice that there was a definite transition in the person. You see, because you see, when we're thinking in terms of our earning power and thinking in terms of how much resources is available to us and how much money we can get per time, we focus on the system. We focus on the environment. You see, which of course there are times where of course we must consider environmental influences, but to a large extent it has something to do with who you are as a person. If you want to have what you've never got, you must become who you've never been. And that's the clear answer I can give. Anybody can become anything. Albert Einstein that says that you cannot solve a problem with the mentality or the mindset with which you created it. You see, you cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that you used to create the problem. So if the problem exists or came into full because of your thinking, to solve that problem, you will need to update or upgrade your thinking. See, that is the part where people don't tell you. They say, well, look at that man, he's an illiterate. He built a successful company, you know. I say, look at that man, he doesn't know how to speak English. And of course, I've told those who listen to me many times that speaking good English is not a metrics for measuring intelligence. Do you understand? The ability to speak good English is not the matrix for measuring who is intelligent. Why? English is a language. You know? It's a language. It's some people's what you call native language, native tongue. It's like a Nigerian speaking Yoruba, or Hausa, or Igbo, or a South African speaking Zulu, or Kosa, or Namibia speaking Oshuambo or Osherero. So English is a language. You see, the Japanese will not say that they are not intelligent because they can't speak good English. Neither would the Chinese say the measure of intelligence is the ability to speak good English. No. You see, so when we say people are not educated, right, we're saying that because probably you heard them spoke and they don't sound as, their elocution is not as excellent, you know. But that's not a hallmark for measuring intelligence. You see, the man may not be able to speak good English according to your judgment, but he is good in mathematics. He is good in business. You see, so what I'm saying is, I say all those to say this, that when you say that somebody is not educated, but the person is doing very well, it depends on what you mean by education. And I also think that that's a problem. Such thinking is more common among Africans, I suppose. And I think it's part of the colonial, or it's part of the inferiority complex of some people who think that speaking good English is an indication of intelligence. It's not. It's not. See, understanding how the world works, understanding how money moves, is more important than knowing how to speak good English. So I say all those to say that if you want to become or to have what you don't have now, you must start changing to become the man you are not yet. See, there's a man that can easily attract millions. That man is called a millionaire. See, yeah, a millionaire is a man, is a person, is a personality. It's not money. See, having $1 million doesn't mean you're a millionaire. But if you're a millionaire, you will have $1 million. So anybody can become anything by simply improving who they currently are, becoming better people. See, you don't have to even go back to school to be a millionaire, but you must learn. See, there's a difference between going back to school and learning. See, because as a matter of fact, it is not school that makes people successful in life. It is true that knowledge is responsible. It is not true that school is responsible. Because the truth is that some of the right knowledge are not taught in school. I'm sure you get what I'm trying to, you get the points. So you can become anything. Anybody can become anything if they will apply themselves. So you don't have to be, I don't know what it is you do today. Maybe you plait people's hair, you do makeup artists, you're selling on the road, whatever it is you're doing. You focus on changing yourself. And of course, it will show in your results. Thank you. Have a great day.